Miles Mikolas gets torched by the long ball again. Add him to another list of things that have to get right for next season. Plus, the Jack Flaherty trade is looking pretty good for the Cardinals after the latest Orioles news. This is Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford, and I'm a national radio sports anchor with iHeartMedia. Born and raised in the Lou and a lifetime Cardinals fan, and I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Follow me on Twitter at JD Sports Radio. The podcast available at @LO_Cardinals. I want to thank those of you who make Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day, free and available wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts. We're all over the place, including YouTube. Like, subscribe, and comment there. Interact with us. Hit the notification button so you know when new episodes are posted. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. The Cardinals take it on the chin again today against the Milwaukee Brewers. They get flattened by the score of 6-0 this after losing 8-2 last night. Not good. Miles Mikolas on the mound today, and the Cardinals have a real problem here. All right, coming into this season, Miles Mikolas was expected at the very least to be your number 3 guy, right? The very least, he was going to be your number 3. He genuinely was set up to be your number 2 or maybe even your number 1. You know, not like the team really had a staff ace coming into the season, but he was your opening day starter. And I think the idea was that he was going to be kind of like your number 1, most trustworthy guy. Then it would be Monty number 2, Flaherty number 3, Matt's number 4, Waino number 5. And you look back on those names right there, and you look at that idea and you laugh hysterically because how bad it all was. Monty was the only one who actually lived up to expectations. Flaherty was fine, I guess. We're going to talk more about him a little bit later in the episode, but Matt's couldn't stay healthy again. Adam Wainwright statistically had one of the worst years for a starting pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball. And then there's Miles Mikolas, who he's been terrible, you guys. He really has. And this is a guy that I stuck up for earlier in the season because I wanted people to realize how good Miles Mikolas actually was. I feel like he was a bit underrated earlier on in the year, and he's terrible now. Now Wainwright, we know Wainwright's retiring. Let's fast forward and think about next year. Wainwright, he's gone. He's retiring. Don't have to worry about it. Matz, he'll be back next year with 2 years left on his deal. Can he stay healthy? That's the real issue, because after what was a really bad start for Matz this year, remember he goes to the bullpen, he settles in there, pitched okay, and ended up back in the rotation due to injuries. And he was really good. He was really good as a starting pitcher. And then injuries came at him again, and he was out. And he's been out for a while now. Am I banking on Steven Matz being healthy next year? Hell no. Hell no. I'm not banking on that. Why would you? And when he goes down, which he probably will, guys like Rom, Hudson, Thompson, those are the ones who are going to be expected to fill the void. But Miles Mikolas just signed an extension in spring training that has him locked up through 2025. And at the time, I loved the idea. I thought it was a good idea. My hope was that they were going to get Mikolas done first and then lock up Montgomery, and that didn't happen. But getting the Lizard King back in the fold seemed like a smart idea. Coming off a solid, healthy season in 2022, where he started 32 games, 12 wins, ERA 3.29. That is good. That is very, very good in this day and age of Major League Baseball. But since game 1 of this season, it has been a nightmare. Coming into today's game against Milwaukee, he led the league with 32 starts, which is good. It means he's healthy, which is a big part. Remember, we lost him for a couple of years. It's good that he's healthy. But he also leads the league in hits given up with 205, which also happened to him in 2018 when he led the league with 189 hits given up. And he led the league in earned runs with 98. That was coming into today. Those numbers have now gone up because the Brewers knocked him around today for 6 runs, 5 of them earned on 9 hits, 2 of them home runs, and just 5 innings of work. After losing today, Miles Mikolas is now 7-13 on the year with an ERA of 4.95. That's terrible. Last year in 32 starts, Miles threw 202 innings, 202 and a third innings. Let me give him full credit. 202 and a third innings. This year in 33 starts, so after today's game, Miles is at 187 and a third, so 15 less innings. Keep that in mind when I start throwing these stats out to you. He gave up 25 home runs last year. He's at 25 now this year after giving up 2 more today, again, in 15 less innings. He's probably got 1 start left in him for the year, so he'll probably break the record the way he's going. Last year, he gave up 170 hits. This year, in 15 less innings, mind you, he's at 214. 44 more hits given up this year in less innings. Earned runs last year, 74, 81 total runs. So 74 earned, 81 total. This year, 103 earned runs, 106 of them total. The walks are similar, so no issue there. But strikeouts last year, Miles had 153. This year, down to 122. At 35 years old, are we really expecting his numbers to get better next year? Is that what we're thinking is going to happen? Is he going to get better? Or is this the beginning of the end for Miles Mikolas, like the way Wainwright just fell off a cliff last year? Is that what's going on here? And if this doesn't get fixed, if he doesn't get this figured out and become better, become more like last year's guy than this year's guy for next season, what does this say about the back end of your rotation next year? If you by some miracle, if Mo by some miracle finds 3 capable starting pitchers, that's the number that's been thrown out there. If he gets 3 of them who are better than Mikolas and Matz when healthy for next year, but then you got Mikolas coming back, who is still the guy he was this year or worse and is getting shelled all the time, and then the other guy can't stay healthy, then what are we setting ourselves up for next year? You know, I was hoping that we would see some sort of improvement down the stretch here eventually from Miles, but he's gotten worse. I mean, just worse and worse as the season drags on. Maybe he's worn out. Maybe he's exhausted after what has been an exhausting season where the team hasn't been good. Mentally, it's been a rough year for everybody involved. But when you go back and you watch games like today, he's been doing this crap all year, missing his spots. And that's what is really kind of like, uh-oh. Because Miles Mikolas does not have the arsenal where he's going to strike people out all the time. It's never been his game. In today's game, it was anytime he gives up these home runs, it's the same stuff. Today's game, he's up 0-2 on Blake Perkins. This happens to him a lot this year, where he gets ahead of guys, gives up hits, or with 2 outs, he's giving up hits. But he's up 0-2 on Blake Perkins in the 3rd inning. Perkins, to his credit, fights back in the at-bat, fouls a couple pitches off, gets the count to 2-2. And then Mikolas throws an 80-mile-an-hour meatball. Just a changeup, belt high, right down the center of the plate. Basically, a batting practice fastball. The pitching coach, where they just throw it in there, like at home run derbies at the All-Star game. That's what he threw this guy. And, of course, Perkins is a major league hitter. So he smashes it over the wall and right for a solo home run. The 3-run dinger by Caratini in the ill-fated 6th inning today. A slider, down, but in the zone, over the heart of the plate, to a lefty. That's exactly where they want it. Either middle or middle in. Down in the zone, that's where their swing goes. Boom. Another one. Crushed over the wall. Makes it 6-0. Game's pretty much over. You just can't miss your spots like this at the major league level, especially when you have non-strikeout stuff. Like, you can miss spots when you're throwing 98, 99, 100. You see guys who just throw smoke get away with bad pitches. You can't do that if you're Miles Mikolas and expect to survive. I certainly hope he gets it straightened out next year because I like Miles. I think he's a great guy. I love his demeanor in the clubhouse. I love his dry sense of humor. I like his competitiveness on the mound. I like that he's a little weird, that he burns sage and he likes shaving things. Like, I'm cool with all that. But the results have to be better. And they've been awful this year. And you can blame the shift a little bit. You can blame the umpires. And you can say, well, it's a lot of soft contact. But in the end, I'm seeing a lot of this just coming down to simple execution and pitch placement. Wade Miley on the mound today for the Brewers, who does not have what people would call swing and miss stuff, had 7 strikeouts today and barely touches 90 miles per hour. He throws cutters and changeups with an occasional four-seam fastball. But you know what he doesn't do? He doesn't miss his spots. He's accurate. He gets you to chase. The guys the Cardinals have that have the same kind of crap, Wainwright, Mikolas, who don't throw super hard anymore and have to rely on pitch placement, miss their spots continuously. And that's why they get shelled. When Miles is dotting the corners, even and he's moving the ball in and out against the best of teams, he looks really, really good. He's still very effective. But I don't know what it's going to take to figure it out for next year for him to get back to hitting his spots the way he needs to, because he's awful this year. It's been really, really bad. And I don't want to see it next year. I'm sure he doesn't either. I'm sure he'll do whatever it takes to get it right. He's that kind of competitor. But he's got to be called out, man. Watching him pitch over the last couple of months here, it's just been brutal. Speaking of brutal, Baltimore has made a decision on Jack Flaherty. A little bit of a shocker. We're going to talk about it next on Locked On Cardinals. Buying tickets to your favorite events, not supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be fun. You're getting ready to go to whatever it is, whether you're going to buy tickets for sports, you're going to a concert, you're going to go to stand-up comedy, maybe some theater, whatever it is you're into. Gametime is the fast and easy way to get those tickets, and they've got great deals on last-minute tickets at the best price guarantee. Okay, their best price guarantee is something that's really, really cool here because it allows you to stop stressing over getting the best tickets at the best price. And instead, you can just be excited about, ooh, look at the tickets I just found, and look what I'm going to. You don't have to plan months in advance. Gametime will do deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. They've got these exclusive flash deals where you log in and it'll say, hey, flash deal for this event. Go check it out. And you could really, really score some sweet tickets for very low prices. And we're talking about all sports. It's not just baseball. We're talking football, NFL, college going on right now. Basketball's around the corner. Of course, the concerts, the comedy, all of that. And the Gametime guarantee means you'll always get the best price. And if you find tickets, if it happens, you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. They get sent directly to your phone. So get the tickets without the stress with Gametime. Download their app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. The Cardinals head to San Diego this weekend. You can catch every pitch of the Cardinals' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Just search Cardinals. Again, thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Always looking for your comments on YouTube, good or bad. Leave them on YouTube. Leave them on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Feedback always welcome and encouraged. When the Cardinals traded Jack Flaherty, let's talk about Jack Flaherty real quick. Some news broke about him over the last 24 hours that the Baltimore Orioles when they got him at the trade deadline, obviously the idea was to boost their starting rotation. They're going to stick him in. Hopefully he was going to be really, really good, and everybody would live happily ever after. He's not going to help their starting rotation anymore. He is now going to the bullpen, apparently. That is where Jack will be doing his pitching for the O's, who have clinched a playoff spot. They're going to the playoffs, but Jack Flaherty is not going to be a part of their rotation. Manager Brandon Hyde told reporters that the move is centered around the desire to help the team in the short term and that Flaherty is on board with this move. This is the quote from their manager, Hyde. He's been such a pro about it. I've been talking to him about it the last few days as a possibility. He's a total team guy. Really, really impressed with his professionalism. Truly, he really just wants to help this team win somehow. And if he can do it in that way, we'll see. I mean, where else is he going to go? Like, what do you mean? What would be the point of him throwing a fit and saying, no, I'm a starter only. I will not go to that bullpen. Why would he do that? Of course he's going to be on board with this. That wouldn't make any sense to put up a stink about it. The dude's going to be a free agent here in a bit. He needs teams to like him, not question his attitude. One of the reasons the Orioles can do this, by the way, is because they ended up getting John Means back. If you remember in the series against the Cardinals actually faced John Means, who looked pretty good. They did not face Jack Flaherty. And the Orioles don't want to do a six-man rotation at this point. That's fine. But it's not just that. They threw that out there as a reason why they don't want him in the rotation. But it is also a production thing here because Flaherty has not been very good since getting traded. Here's his numbers since the trade. Jack is 1-3 with a 6.68 ERA. That includes the 2-inning relief appearance that he had on Tuesday where he didn't allow a run. He gave up 3 hits in 2 innings, but didn't allow a run. In his 7 starts, he was 1-3, ERA over 7, 7.11. And if you take away his first start, which admittedly was very, very good, his first outing with Baltimore, he looked awesome. He got the win in that one. Has not gotten a win since. He is 0-3 with an ERA of 8.42 as a starter with the Baltimore Orioles. So when they say, it's 6-man rotation, we just, we don't want to have to do that or whatever. That ain't just the only reason. The other reason is Jack Flaherty has sucked. He has not been good as a pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. So they got to figure out something to do with him because they traded a couple of decent prospects away to get him. Drew Rom, one of those prospects, goes from the Orioles AA team to AAA Memphis after the trade where he was very, very good. And now you got him in the major leagues, which, yes, it has been a bumpy road for Drew Rom so far as a Major League Baseball player, but he's coming from AA to the major leagues in just a matter of weeks. Let's not forget that after getting traded. So life turned upside down. And, you've seen flashes of very good stuff from Drew Rom. You've seen moments where don't look so good. But at least we're getting a nice long look at him before next year. And who knows? Drew Rom may not be a starter in the major leagues. Maybe he becomes a bullpen guy for you. They're going to need help there, too. Cardinals don't have a very good bullpen, in case you haven't paid attention. Cesar Prieto, the infielder they got, hitting .262 for Memphis since the deal. 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. His accumulated AAA stats this season, .285, 5 home runs, 34 ribbies in 61 games. Not supposed to be a power guy, supposed to be a contact guy. He started this year at AA and came through AAA. So getting his first taste of AAA baseball this year. So overall this season, I think he's hitting .322 if you combine what he did at AA and AAA. So nothing wrong with that. Zach Showalter, the 19-year-old pitcher they got in the deal, he only threw 1 inning since the trade and has been on the injured list. So it is shockingly hard to find information about Zach Showalter. I don't know what the injury is. I don't know what's going on with him, but I know he's only thrown 1 inning. So whatever it is, hopefully he gets it squared away and is back and ready to go for next year. The future of the guys the Cardinals got in return seems kind of bright for all involved on this Cardinals side. Like you kind of like what you see. And I know they were excited about Zach Showalter. Again, 19 years old. We're not freaking out yet. While Jack, who is now a right-hander out of the bullpen, is hardly what Baltimore envisioned when they acquired him at the trade deadline. So far, trade goes to the Cardinals, right? I mean, we'll see what impact Jack has in the playoffs for Baltimore. Maybe he does some good things. I don't know. But maybe he has a good impact for them in the playoffs. And we'll see what he does this offseason before any final judgment can be made on this trade. But so far, it's leaning in the Cardinals' direction. Let me know what you guys think about Jack Flaherty to the bullpen in the comments below or on Twitter. Willson Contreras' season is over, sadly. That news coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets. Win or lose. Win or lose. You can lose, and you still get it. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. If you haven't done it yet, wide range of betting options, which include the spreads, player props. You got the over and unders, whole lot more there. Thursday night game tonight, kicking off here in a little bit. Giants minus their star running back, Saquon Barkley. He's on my fantasy team, so that sucks. I lost Nick Chubb and Saquon Barkley last weekend. I am a cursed fantasy player, I tell you. But the Giants are in San Francisco to face the 49ers and their incredible defense. 49ers 10.5-point favorites at the time of this recording. And if I was a betting man, I would put the house on San Francisco tonight. If they don't win by more than 10.5, I will be shocked. Like, the Giants barely beat the Arizona Cardinals last week, and they had Saquon in the lineup for most of the game. The Cardinals are trying not to win games this year. Arizona. I mean, maybe the same can be said about St. Louis, but the Arizona Cardinals are not actively trying to win games. And the Giants got smashed in their opener against the Dallas Cowboys. That was an embarrassment. I can't imagine what San Francisco will do to them tonight. So make some money off of it. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL. Cardinals are going to be on the road this weekend. They travel to San Diego, which means a whales. I'm not going to finish that joke from Anchorman because this is a family show. But anyway, they're in San Diego to face the Padres this weekend. Catch every pitch of the Cardinals hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Just search Cardinals. Another one bites the dust. Yep, the Cardinals are limping to the finish line of this season, and they're going to be doing it without Willson Contreras. Willie did not play today, was removed from last night's game due to left wrist discomfort. Manager Ali Marmol, after the game today, confirmed that he is done for the year due to wrist tendonitis. Nothing serious, nothing major, but time to shut him down. And that's okay. With the move, I hope this means we're going to see plenty of Ivan Herrera down the stretch here. I really enjoy watching him play. I really do. I want to see how he handles the bat because he hit pretty well in the minor leagues. We know he's got a cannon for an arm. I want to see what he can do defensively. We know what we got in Andrew Kisner, okay? We don't need to see like an 80-20 split here over the final games. Like, give me some Herrera. Give me all the Ivan we can handle. But as far as Contreras goes, how did he do compared to last year? Last year, an all-star for the Cubs, right? Willie hit 243, 22 dingers, 55 RBIs, OPS plus 126. This year as a Cardinal, he hit 264. So I can do math. That would be 21 points higher, 20 home runs, which is 2 less, 67 RBIs, 12 RBIs more. And he had an OPS plus of 125, which is 1 point less. Since June 24th, Willson Contreras posted a .339 batting average with 12 home runs and 36 RBIs in his final 57 games. 55 of them were starts. Bottom line, the Cardinals got exactly what they wanted from Willie Contreras. Offensively. Defensively, room for improvement, right? But I think a lot of us have earned a new respect for Willson Contreras. You know, we didn't really know so much about him while he was a Chicago Cub, but after this, I would say a tumultuous season, not only for Willie, remember how awkward everything was at the beginning, but as far as the season goes, the Cardinals weren't supposed to suck. This was supposed to be a fun year for him. But we got to see Villain Willie pop off against the Red Sox and, of course, against the Cubs and the Dodgers. He was really good against them, too. He rises to the occasion of the level of play that's going on around him. That's something I'll take away from this year. I love me some Villain Willie. We saw emotional Willie just the other night. You saw him bawling after the 200th win for Adam Wainwright, how important that was to him. We love this guy. I think we love this guy, right? We just got to hope things are better for him behind the plate next year to go along with his offensive skill set, which is clearly an elite level for Major League catchers. That you cannot deny. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Be sure to catch every pitch of the Cardinals' hometown broadcast for their series against the Padres with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Just search Cardinals. Tomorrow night, Dakota Hudson on the Hill, 6-2 for St. Louis. If you haven't already, please give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Help our channel and love for the Cardinals grow. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of views every single day, and we're only getting a couple hundred likes. Why aren't you clicking the like button? What's so busy in your day that you can't move your cursor down to the bottom there and go click and click the like button? It really helps the channel grow. So I'd appreciate it if you could help us there. All right. You're the best fans of baseball for a reason. I'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.